Welcome, one and all, to the following segment of enjoyment and an escape from reality. But beware, the show you are about to bear witness to will not hold back when it comes to spoilers, language, and things not appropriate for work or children. If you continue on, we hope that you laugh at the banter, that you are thrilled by the topic of discussion, and marvel at the host's dedication to their craft, because you can only get that type of treatment here at Monster Madness. You have been warned.
Okay, so I wanted to have a quick chat about flat responsibilities because, guys, I think that we're not all pulling our weight here. We're not just pointing the finger at you, Deacon. You're a cool guy, but you're not pulling your weight in the flat.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that I'm cool.
No, that's not the point, though.
Yeah,
You're
no, I
it's
know.
not
I know.
a flat meeting about how cool you are.
I do my flat chores.
No, you
No,
don't.
you
Yes,
don't.
I do.
That's why we're having the flat meeting.
The point is, Deacon, that you have not done the dishes for 5 years.
Ladislav is right. It's unacceptable to have so many bloody dishes all over this bench like that.
I'm so embarrassed when people come over here.
What does it matter? You bring them over, you kill them! Vampires don't do dishes.
Hi, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Monster Madness, a podcast dedicated to all sorts of creatures, features, and beyond. I'm Erica, and joined with me is someone who I would enjoy spending an eternity sharing a flat with if we were both vampires. My buddy, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hey.
Yo.
How's it
Would
going?
you actually... That's a really good question.
Suck a dick for cocaine? No.
Well, number 2 is off my list. But number 1 was if we were vampires...
Yep.
Because Ovs, I'd bite the shit out of you, and I'd hope you bite the shit out of me so we could be besties forever.
Can I bring my dogs? I almost said Alyssa, and I'm like, I might get sick of her.
I mean, that's your call. That's your
I'm
call.
kidding. I'm biting them all.
Hi.
How fucking tits would that be? Just vampire barf?
Oh, that. Would you wait until Barf got to like doggy adulthood, or like keep him as Barf now?
So probably barf. Barf now, as in medicated barf now. So that, like at this point in his life, he has about 45 minutes in the morning before his pill kicks in, and 30 to 45 minutes at night where he's a fucking terror because pill hasn't kicked in and he's overtired.
What pill?
He's on fuck. What the fuck is it? It's a people drug. We have to go to Walgreens to get it. He's on fluoxetine.
Oh, duh.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Fluoxetine. I don't know either. I was hoping you would know. It's an SSRI.
Again.
It's antidepressant.
Oh.
So Prozac. I was looking for like the actual.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's on like a low dose of Prozac because he would get like so worked up and he could never like calm down. So like he would bark at something or he would see something and he would just get himself really spun up and then he just was insufferable. So yeah.
God, do I need Prozac?
Maybe. But yeah. So now he's like, those pictures I sent you he was just laying around.
Hi, Barfy.
Hi, Barf. But yeah, this is kind of just how he is now.
Yeah, he was a rambunctious little puppy.
Yeah, he did come in here before and stretch while I was working and farted, like audibly farted. So that was hilarious. It's just like we started to realize like he would catch his reflection in the glass of our front door at night, and then he would just never be able to settle down until we just went to bed. Like to a point where Alyssa would just go into our room very, very early just so he would fucking sleep. But like, you know, he's rolling up on 3, and he's a hell of a lot better, and he's on
Oh
Prozac.
my God, I can't believe he's already 3.
I know. So like my parents came over before and after, and my mom was like, oh my God, he's so much more calm now. Like what happened? And we're like, drugs. But yeah, he'll be 3 in October.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And now with the wicked shit, we're starting to talk about the next move.
The next pupper?
Yeah, but we'll probably wait.
Yeah.
But like that wait isn't super duper long.
Oh, I know.
So
Do you know breed?
she has a couple in mind, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, she does so much sports and shit with Barf that was her. She always wanted to do like a sport dog. So she does it with Barf, or just with his hips. We had to like pivot to doing scent work and shit. So she's fine there. So the way that she's described it is she just wants like a Velcro lap dog. Like, for lack of a better way to put it, we're trying to find the next Dieter.
Yeah.
Because like Barf really only loves us when it's cold out or we're in bed. And even that's like hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like we have no lap dog when we're sitting on the couch watching a movie, and that's kind of what we're after. So she was looking at, I think it's called a Dandy Dinmont Terrier, which look like Barf. They look like Dieter, and they enough to a point where we had to specify which kind because one looks too much like Dieter. Like similar to Baxter from Anchorman. Think that.
Okay.
And then put blue eyes on it and you have Dieter. So we're like, yeah, it can't be that one. It has to be the other one because I can't have Dieter 2.
Yeah, that'd be too
visually.
much.
Yeah.
Snowball 2.
Yeah, right. Snowball 4. So we've talked about that. We technically have a free another barf coming because of his hips. I didn't tell you this.
No.
So he has a health guarantee. So when he came back with hip dysplasia, the breeder was like, all right, cool, give me 6 months and you can have another puppy. We just got to go down there and get it. The way that he is now, I would absolutely get another one of these dogs.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So that's on the table too. We just like give him 6 months notice. So yeah, so there was that, the Dandy Dinmont, and then there was one other type of dog. I can't remember. It's a fucking, she finds like these weird, obscure breeds that like only happen in certain states. Shit like that. It's fucking wild. But yeah.
I never even heard of the type of dog that Barf was until
You go to
you guys.
Romagnolo.
Yeah, I think I texted you once and I was like, what's the name of your dog again? It sounds like a Frappuccino of some sort, like a Starbucks order. It really does.
It's a Starbucks order. Yeah.
But yeah, my original question, I don't know how we got this far into it.
Oh,
Would you be my flatmate if we were vampires?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fucking stupidest question ever. Like, I feel like we could probably cohabitate pretty easily.
Oh yeah, we could cohabitate probably now.
Yeah.
The undead? Totally.
Yeah. For eternity? Yeah. It would be pretty easy. We would just have to go on like a national tour of like biting our friends so that they can stick around with us.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I don't have that many friends, so my tour would be so short. I'd be like, are we okay, Jesus Christ.
But we can fly and shit, so it's like, it's not hard. It's not like we're waiting in lines to get on fucking Delta flights that are probably going to get canceled because of CrowdStrike updates on a Friday.
True. Though I do feel like me and you would have bat fights like all the time. Bat fight!
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Because no one can get seriously hurt, so why the fuck not?
True. True. Man, I wish this shit was real. Anyway, you can find Monster Madness on all your favorite podcasting platforms, social media sites, and things of that nature. Matt does stream video games and drum sessions from time to time, so you could check that out on our Twitch channel. If you'd like to support our show, you could do so in many different ways, such as Patreon, buying merch, or donating to the show, or just simply leaving a review on your favorite podcasting provider. Those 5 stars go a long way. If you decide to write something, we will read it on the show. All the links for the aforementioned things will be posted in our show notes. So remember our friend, Zigbun Zembwe, or whatever. I'm going to insert the clip. I received a message from him saying that he hates us now because from last episode, he was forced to Google what Brie Larson's feet look like. Thanks to... That was like the most maniacal laugh.
Because I did it too while recording. I just probably didn't record the actual audio of me doing so. Feet are fucking gross.
They are. He literally wrote, I think I hate you guys now. I Googled Brie Larson feet because of you.
You don't hate us. You love us.
You're welcome, friend. And anybody else who looked up Brie Larson's feet. You know what? I actually haven't because I didn't care. Now I care.
Yeah. When you've upset this many people, it's time to start caring about someone's feet.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, she got some dogs on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's got weird toenails.
Yep.
Oh. Poor girl. Maybe she shouldn't wear open-toed. I mean, here's the thing.
Just combat boots only?
They're so long. It's just a long foot. All right, anyway. That's all I've got. Do you have anything, Matt? Housekeeping?
Housekeeping. No, I mean, no. It was a weird day.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk about it.
I mean, we can talk about it. This is what this show is for.
I mean, you're well aware. It's just pulling back the curtain of what today is and what has happened on said day.
Oh, yes. Yes, today was a very heavy day. This episode is actually dedicated to... Well, Matt, I'll let you. I'll let you if you want.
So today, July 25th is the day we're recording this. I'll just get that out of there. So today would have been my grandpa's 107th birthday. Every year on his birthday, I eat snowballs, Hostess snowballs, which apparently Erica can't find because one more reason that Philadelphia is a fucking shithole. And I crush a bunch of High Lifes. So I will be drinking a lot of High Lifes through the recording of this. But also, we unfortunately had to say goodbye to our dear, dear friend Glitter's puppy Beanies, who thankfully I had the pleasure of meeting like exactly 1 month ago.
Yeah.
So that was pretty tough. The family has suffered a loss today. So we are dedicating this episode to Beanies and my grandpa Harold. So fucking pussy tight.
I like how Harold took second billing.
Well, I flip-flopped them. I talked to my grandpa the first time and Beanies the first and second time. It's just equal billing. They both mean a lot to me.
Yeah, there you go. And as Matt pounds a High Life. So yeah, this episode is dedicated to them. We love you. This week on Monster Madness, we cover 2014's What We Do in the Shadows.
Well, that didn't go so great. I hit the main artery. So, yeah, it's a real mess in there. On the upside, I think she had a really good time.
So What We Do in the Shadows is a rated R. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 26 minutes. It was released on January 19th, 2014 at the Sundance Film Festival. It was produced by Unison Films, Defender Films, Park Road Post Production, New Zealand Documentary Board, and New Zealand Film Commissions. I always like to shout out this New Zealand special effects place. I never know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's Wata FX. It's New Zealand. Every time we talk about anything related to New Zealand, this is going back to the Frighteners, Lord of the Rings, because Peter Jackson did the Frighteners. He loves this company for special effects, and apparently they use them in this. I'm trying to think of what, the only special effect I could think of is the bat fighting and when, the Nick transformed his face, but nothing too crazy.
No, but there was a lot of practical effects and costumes and shit like that.
Oh, the practical effects were chef's kiss.
Yeah, so and it's funny, we talked about this a little bit before we recorded, but you haven't watched the show. I have more recently watched the show, which is on 5 seasons, and then going back to watch this. And I had seen this previously. Then I watched 5 seasons of the show. I have an awful memory because of drinking. So I didn't remember that the characters in the show are not the same characters. It's the same concept, different characters, which I was very, 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 very happy to go back to. I believe that these may be referenced at points in the show. I want to say Vladislav might come back in the show at some point, and the Beast also. Don't quote me on it. So there are correlations, and the concept overall is pretty much the same. But the show, Matt Berry's in the show, I have huge crush on him, not because he's pretty, just because I think he's fucking incredibly hilarious. I was a big fan of IT Crowd. Toast of London was hilarious. He was in What We Do in the Shadows. I wanted to say there was 1 or 2 other ones too. So yeah, I'm excited. Much better than Tusk.
Yeah.
Much better than Brie Larson's feet, huh?
Oh God, anything's better than that apparently. Jesus Christ. This film was directed and written by Jermaine Clement and Taika. Is it Taika? I never pronounce his name correctly. Taika Waititi?
Taika!
We're going to go with that. Oh, Jesus. I did not know it starred the director and writer as... Jesus Christ. I don't pay attention. So Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi star in this film, along with Johnny Bro, Corny Gonzalez McCure, Stu Rutherford, which I find hilarious that Stu, the character Stu, his name is Stu in real life.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sitting over here trying to go through the pronunciation of this guy's name. That's in case you're watching me make weird faces and mouth movements.
You kind of always do that.
It's
so I never
capital
know.
T, capital Y, dash, lowercase k, lowercase upside down e. That could be tyke. That could be tyke.
I think it's Taika. I did look at an interview earlier, and he said, "Hi, it's Taika." So
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna go by what he says. Then again, my memory is shit, so he could have said something completely different, and my brain just chooses to remember that. We got Ben Fransom, Jackie Van Beek, Elena Stecco, Jason Hoyt, Karen O'Leary, and that's pretty much it. There's a random other people here and there. The tagline for this film, there's only one. It's some interviews with some vampires. A+. A+. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had nothing more to say. I thought maybe it would come to me when my mouth started moving, and that was not the case.
Well, what else is new? What's the budget, Matt?
$1.6 million, which inflation 2.1. The box office did do 7.3 million though, which
Solid.
I'm guessing it was right around 9. I refuse to calculate that one because we're just getting close to normal days. So
Yeah, we're a decade out.
It obviously did well enough that they made a fucking TV show. So
Yeah, exactly. What was the other? Oh, Dark Shadows. I mixed this up with Dark Shadows before, and I knew that had an older TV show. And then Johnny Depp did a Dark Shadows movie, which I found hilarious.
Oh.
That was good.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But I had never seen What We Do in the Shadows, so I opted to watch this instead of Dark Shadows because it's basically the same deal, except it's not a documentary crew with vampires. It's just modern vampires. Still good.
Huh.
It's the Armageddon Deep Impact of the vampire modern movie.
Never
Yeah.
do that again.
What?
Once again, the thought started and it never completed before my mouth finished moving.
Okay.
It's going to be a good episode.
This is okay. It's the snowballs. Well, then you muscle your way through the plot, sir, of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. So I got to the end of the first sentence on Wikipedia and I was like, I'm going to fuck these names up. And then just remembered that I've heard them. So you just got to put the mouth sounds together to the letters. You've got yourself a party. A documentary crew follows 4 vampire housemates, Viago, Vladislav, Deacon, and Peter, who share a flat in Wellington suburb of Hayaro. All the vampires possess supernatural powers, including levitation and the ability to transform into animals. Viago is a 17th century dandy who originally traveled to New Zealand in the 1940s in search of Catherine, the love of his life. Vladislav is a 12th century former tyrant known as Vladislav the Poker, who is haunted by memories of his nemesis, the Beast. Deacon is a 19th century former peddler and the young rebel of the group, who is turned into a vampire by Peter, a reclusive ancient vampire who behaves like a feral animal and resembles Count Orlok. 2 side notes here.
Yeah.
I believe Peter comes back in the show,
Awesome.
and Count Orlok's the name of a puppy I met. I love Orlok a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You did.
Yeah, he's got an Instagram.
Orlok!
I found it.
Nice.
And while drunk one night, just fucking liked every picture. And I think I said, I love you, Orlok. And all. It was the whole thing. Each night, Viago, Vladislav, and Deacon take the bus into town and prowl the streets of Wellington for people to kill. Deacon's human familiar, Jackie, runs errands for the vampires and cleans up the gore left behind by their feeding. A married mother, Jackie hopes to attain immortality, but is frustrated that Deacon will not turn her into a vampire as promised. Deacon requests that Jackie brings virgins to the flat so that the vampires can feed on them. She lures a woman who insulted her in primary school by her ex-boyfriend Nick to the flat. Though neither are actually virgins, the woman is killed. Nick is chased throughout the flat and manages to get outside, only to be caught by Peter, who turns him into a vampire. 2 months later, the vampires accept Nick into their group and bond with his human friend Stu, a computer analyst who introduces them to modern technology. Viago uses the internet to find Catherine, who is now a 96-year-old widow living in a rest home in Wellington, and also briefly reconnects with his old servant Philip. Despite being able to get his new friends into popular bars and clubs, Nick struggles to adapt to life as a vampire. Nick is also held in contempt by Deacon, who resents Nick's newfound popularity and his careless revealing of his vampirism to strangers he meets. One of these strangers, a vampire hunter, breaks into the flat basement during the day, kills Peter by exposing him to sunlight. The vampires are furious when they discover Nick has indirectly caused Peter's death, and Deacon tries to kill Nick before being interrupted by a police welfare check. But Viago hypnotizes them into noticing anything out of the ordinary. Once the police leave, Nick is banished from the flat by the remaining vampires, though Stu is permitted to come as he pleases. Several months later, the vampires receive an invitation to the annual Unholy Masquerade hosted for the local undead population of vampires, zombies, and witches. Vladislav refuses to attend after learning the Beast will be the guest of honor. When Viago and Deacon arrive at the ball, they find in attendance Nick, Stu, and Jackie, the latter of whom has been turned into a vampire by Nick. The Beast is revealed to be Vladislav's ex-girlfriend Pauline, and when Stu and the camera crew are discovered to be living humans, the party guests threaten to kill and feed on them. Vladislav arrives and fights with Pauline's new boyfriend, Julian. Stu impales Julian on a flagpole. Vampires and the camera crew escape the ball with him, only to encounter a rival pack of werewolves who transform under the full moon. Stu and one of the cameramen are mauled. Believing Stu to be dead, the vampires run away and grieve for him. After an indeterminate amount of time, Nick returns to the flat with Stu, who reveals he has survived the attack and was transformed into a werewolf. With Stu's urging, the pack visits the vampires along with Stu. Nick's banishment is rescinded as well. Though momentarily apprehensive, Deacon invites the werewolves pack inside. Viago also reconnects and rekindles his romance with Catherine, whom he turns into a vampire. Scenes during the credits reveal that Vladislav has gotten back together with Pauline, repeating his cycle of self-inflicted torture over his relationship with her. Jackie's husband is now serving as her familiar. A post-credit scene shows Deacon attempting to hypnotize the audience to forget the events of the film.
Nice.
Yep.
If you were a vampire, what would be like what's on your list of things to do? What's your goal?
Fuck, man, that's a tough one. Like, probably travel. But as a result of travel, I would need to rob a bank. Because just because you're a vampire doesn't mean that money doesn't matter.
But you could easily hypnotize someone to do.
100%. Yeah, I'm not saying that these are difficult things to accomplish.
Yeah.
Worst case, if I get arrested, I just turn into a fucking bat when I'm in prison and fly away.
Bat fight.
Something you will hear a lot when you start watching the show is one of the guys just yells, "Turn into a bat!" Or something. It's fucking pissed me off because they made a shirt out of it. Laszlo, that's Matt Berry. He just yells, "Bat!"
Bat.
Yep. So there was a shirt and it's all cartoony and it just says "bat" in big letters and it's just him turning into a bat. I'm sure you've seen it.
I just had a really good idea of doing a Monster Madness shirt where
Yep.
it's called the Matt Bat or the Bat Mat. Which one do you like better, Bat Mat or Matt Bat?
If it's just Batman, otherwise it has to be the Matt Bat.
Either which way, I'm
Yeah,
gonna superimpose your cartoon head onto a bat, a la Leslie Nielsen in Dracula Dead and Loving It.
I'm 100% on board. Say no more.
I'm not gonna make a note because then I'm gonna listen back to this and then I'll remember to do it.
That's fine. Another thing that was pitched to me because we had talked about Podcast of Terror earlier is we do Podcast of Terror versus Monster Madness fast food fight, where we take our preferred fast foods from our regions and argue them. But cheesesteaks are ultimately banished because no one can compete with a fucking cheesesteak.
That's true. Automatic win right there. Ooh, right. That is genius.
It is, but the problem is that we have a lot of the same. Like, I would probably pull Culver's as like the ultimate Wisconsin one, which is now nationwide.
Yeah. Do you guys have Shake Shacks out there?
No.
Okay.
I've been to a Shake Shack. Shake Shacks are off the fucking team, but I've been there. Or was that a Steak and Shake?
I don't know.
Friend of the show, Seth, was it Shake Shack or Steak and Shake where we had a bad time?
Comment.
I cannot wait
Instagram.
for this answer in mid-August when I've forgotten about it.
Yep. Comment on the Instagram post. Out of complete context.
Oh, fuck. So if this comes out... Yep. When this comes out, I will have no fucking clue what's happening. And I'm just going to see the alert and be like,
What would be your least favorite thing about being a vampire?
Living forever.
What the fuck? That's like the hugest perk.
But think about it, is you have to see everyone you meet will ultimately die unless we turn everyone into vampires, which will get out of hand quickly.
Not everybody.
But anyone you like, anyone that you've determined to be like part of your fucking bro squad.
For me, that's like 4 people.
But you're if you live forever, you will inherently meet more people. When you become a vampire, your back's not going to hurt. You're not going to be tired. You're going to fucking stay out all night doing hood rat shit with your friends. You're going to meet new people.
But here's the thing. I'm so antisocial. I'll just want to be with my hood rats.
Right,
So
but I
not
believe
really.
that when you become a vampire, everything's fucking out the window. Like,
But
you're
look at
not
these
anxious
guys.
anymore. You're not. Maybe you're probably still sad.
The vampy sads, yeah.
The
I mean,
vampy sads.
Nick was sad in this movie. He's like, because he couldn't eat chips anymore.
Uh-huh.
And
I
puked them
keep
all
thinking
up.
of things from the show, and I do not want to bring it up because I don't want to ruin anything for you. So
That's
that's
fine.
a
I
lot of
won't
times
remember.
in the show they introduce like energy sucking vampires where they're just boring as fuck, and then they just make everyone really fucking tired and sad.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't remember at what point in the show that is, but yeah, because there was a couple things that happened in the movie that are certainly like parts of the show too.
Yeah.
So there's that, and there's a lot of crossover, but yeah.
Well, I would assume so. Either which way, that is the plot of What We Do in the Shadows. Now we go on to some monster minutiae as Matt goes on to another high life.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Peter, wake up.
Hey, listen, we're just having a flat meeting upstairs in about 10 minutes. You don't have to come, but I thought I'd extend an invitation to you just in case. It's a lot of stuff on the floor down here, Peter, and like these things, oh, it's a spinal column, yuck. And I was thinking maybe I should just bring a broom down here for you if you wanted to sweep up some of the skeletons. I don't know, maybe. Okay. I got you this chicken.
About 125 hours of footage was shot, most of which was improvised from the cast. The process of editing it down to 90 minutes took almost a year. The directors have stated that they are considering making all the footage available online so fans can edit their own versions. That would be hilarious. Stu had not played a primary acting role in a movie prior to appearing in this one. He was an extra in Boy 2010, but Stu is actually a part-time business analyst for a Wellington company. He was hired for the film under the impression that he would be working on computers and that he would play a small part in the film. So Stu was Stu, basically, which is great and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi wrote 150 pages of script, but chose not to show it to a single person involved in the film, both cast and crew. They only described broad strokes of what each scene was about, sometimes providing a beginning and an end. This was to keep things spontaneous and to allow the actors to be surprised by the events unfolding before their eyes. Taika based his performance on his own mother. Jermaine based his on Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is hilarious. The building used for the exterior shots of the vampire's house used to be Peter Jackson's office. So again, another tie unintentionally to Peter Jackson. Does he own like Weta FX? I swear to God, he must.
Probably.
Because at this point, the hill where the vampires have a run-in with the werewolves is the same hill filmed in Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, where Frodo and the hobbits are running from the Black Riders and hiding under the root of a tree. What did I just say? This movie initially did not do very well in its homeland of New Zealand, so distribution to the United States was canceled. The directors were able to bring screenings of the film to the USA after a successful Kickstarter fundraising campaign, where it eventually became the most pirated movie of the year. Each of the main characters are similar to a vampire from a famous vampire movie. Peter, obviously, Count Orlok from Nosferatu. Deacon reflects David from The Lost Boys. Vladislav is comparable to Gary Oldman's Dracula. Nick is reminiscent of Edward from Twilight. And Viago is like Louis de Point du Lac from Interview with a Vampire. A follow-up movie titled Werewolves is currently in development. Also a mockumentary, this movie follows a group of werewolves living in a modern-day Wellington, New Zealand. I wonder if anything ever came of that, because I don't think so. In total, it took 9 years to bring this film to the screen. In the time it took to be made, the number of vampire films and TV shows dramatically increased, which worried the filmmakers. The character of Peter was conceived as a devoid of personality, but unscripted scenes of the actor and makeup were expensive, so extra footage of the actor in his makeup were shot, and such as scenes like him listening to music and such, which I wish they would have kept in. Could you imagine like Peter just kind of like jamming out with like a headset on to like Depeche Mode?
Pet Shop Boys.
There you go. Limp Bizkit.
Oh, have you seen the fucking video of Corey Feldman dancing to Limp Bizkit on stage because they're on tour together?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Of course I sent it to you because I'm hilarious.
Is that really Fred Durst's hair?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck happened to him?
He was wearing a red hat always, and no one knew what his hair looked like.
Fair. Guess what that's what happens when you get all that nookie.
Come on!
Jesus.
No, just Fred Durst.
I hate that.
Yeah!
You're such a douche.
I mean, you love me.
That is very true. Viago is inspired partly by C-3PO and partly by, like was previously stated, Taika's mother. So now going back, if I watch this again, thinking that he's kind of like a C-3PO type character and just basically Taika's mom, that's pretty enjoyable. Despite being inspired by Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, Jermaine still hasn't read the book. They lost a charred polyestrine, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, skeleton and body during the shoot after throwing it in the harbor for a funeral scene, a scene that didn't wind up in the film, and not realizing it was drifting away. Taika commented on the situation, saying it was quite realistic looking, so we had to put out a press release out saying if anybody finds this charred body washed up on a beach, don't be alarmed, it's just a prop. And lastly, while the vampires discuss stew at the unholy masquerade, the convenience store cashier, to whom Nick earlier reveals himself to be a vampire, appears briefly in the foreground of the frame. So he was either a familiar or he was actually a vampire. Thumbs up.
It's a real little one, though.
All right, the next segment of the show, as per usual, we have yay, nay, or slay. This gets a huge yay for me. I can't believe I'm actually really sad that I waited so long to watch this because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Enough to watch it, like, I think this is my third viewing now because I watched it before we recorded again just to keep it fresh in my mind. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved that they were just kind of normal. They didn't have like these crazy powers. They weren't like obnoxious vampires. They didn't sparkle in sunlight. They didn't, have super speed or could read minds, or they basically just had your typical vampire lore. Don't like crucifixes, can't deal with sunlight, don't like garlic, need to feed, can't eat human food, turn into bats.
Well, the iron was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, where he puts the necklace on and he just like sits there and it's smoking and he goes, "This is as long as I can keep it on for."
I think one of my favorite parts was when I really enjoyed Nick's character a lot because of his complete indifference to being a vampire, but loving being a vampire. And he's just like, "I'm Dracula, man. I'm Dracula." And then he fucking eats a shit ton of fries and just vomits violent amount of blood and just gives like the thumbs up. Because I think every person who has ever drank heavily in their life has had a moment where they have violently gotten sick and given someone like, I'm okay.
I don't know if I've done that.
The knee, even if it's just to yourself, but like that knee shaking vomit of just like, oh God.
Have you ever? I'm trying to remember if I told you this already, because this just happened. But
oh God,
ever just wanting to puke and being unable to, and then having to deal with the fact that you can't puke and want to die?
Here's the thing. I don't like to talk about it because I'm just going to think about it, but I'll do this for you. I have default things in my brain that if I need to throw up, I'll just think about them.
And you don't have to say anymore. I hate puking so much that and it was the morning I was coming home from Buffalo. I was over a toilet with my hand down my throat and I couldn't puke. I'm like, all I want to do is get the fucking cheesesteak out so I can get on a flight. Yeah, it was awful. I remember Summers came to get me with fucking Gretchen, and I was just like, I'm dying. Yeah, then just being miserable. I remember walking past a wing place in the airport and wanting to puke, thinking about eating chicken wings, and all. That's all I wanted to do was eat chicken wings.
I don't know.
Well, I got over it pretty fucking quick.
And ate some chicken wings.
Yeah, always.
Okay, now this turns into a question. What is the most violently drunk you've ever gotten?
I mean, rightfully so. I can't remember. There was only 2 times in my life that I know I blacked out, and neither happened until I was like in my, one was late 20s and one was like 2 years ago. I like when people talk about like Nick Swartzen has a new comedy special, and I was listening to that earlier, and he was talking about like being like newborn, excited to walk drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I've ever done that, but I know for a fact I rolled my ankle once drunk in Kansas, walking home from the bar, and did not affect me. Like it didn't faze me one fucking bit. That's how drunk I was.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that realm, I guess. Like I've like fallen asleep sitting up, or at least thought I was dead. That's happened. When I was 21, I did a power hour and then ate beef stroganoff, hamburger helper, and then clogged a sink from puking.
What the fuck?
That was pretty bad.
Oh, that's going on the list of things I'm thinking about when I want to be nauseous. I have a similar story where there was a bar that was across the street from my dad's house that when I turned 21, that like me and all my friends in the neighborhood would just walk to it. It was called Coach's. I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah.
But it's literally, it was, I think, a row home that was turned into a bar. So it was pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
But what sucked about this bar was that the bathrooms were down a flight of steps in their basement. Like the basements were just the bathroom. And it was the girls' room. The men's room was upstairs, like behind these cowboy looking like saddle doors. But females had like basically the entire like half the basement, and it was all bathrooms. But you had to go down these really slick carpeted stairs. And I remember my friend Sammy was there, and she turned me on to lemon drop shots, which are delicious. What?
I just remembered. I can answer your question when you're done now.
Okay, great. And I mean, when I was 21, they were delicious. Now I can't do shots anymore because I'm old and my body can't handle it. But I think I had done about 6 or 7 with her. And I evidently had to pee. And I went down the stairs, and I don't think I touched a single step, because then I kept complaining that my elbow hurt when I came back upstairs to pee. And my friend Jen was just like, Erica, your elbow is black and blue. I'm like, yeah, I think I broke it. And for about a month, maybe 6 weeks, my elbow was fucked because I fell down the steps.
I've never done that one. That's a new one.
I mean, I broke my dad's sink twice by pulling it off the wall.
Sorry, Mikey.
Yeah. Because like at our house, the bathroom upstairs where the shower was, because anytime I ever drank really heavily and like came home after closing, I was like, I just have to shower. That'll make me feel better, which was never the smartest plan, but I still did it.
Right.
And my dad's upstairs bathroom, it was a pretty decent sized bathroom. You had to take at least 3 steps to go from shower to sink, at least in my brain. And so I got out of the shower, and we didn't have like a bathroom rug or anything in there. We like literally would just like lay like a little white towel or something to catch our drippy drops. And I didn't do that. And I just like skidded across this floor, and the sink itself was just literally this huge ass porcelain sink that was caulked to the wall, and then just a metal pipe that went into the wall. And I slipped and slided and just landed on this thing and grabbed it and just yanked it right off. So my drunk ass just pushed it back up, hoping that my dad wouldn't notice. And then at like 6 o'clock in the morning, he like came busting in my room. He's like, "What the fuck happened?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "The fucking sink, Erica. It's hanging off the like within an inch of its life." I'm like, "I don't know. It wasn't me." He's like, "Yeah, the fuck it was you and your drunk ass." Because my dad was at the bars with me all the time when I was 21. So he would close the bar. I would leave, and Mikey would still be hanging out with my friends.
Classic Mikey.
I did that twice. But what was your story?
So it was you saying lemon drop shots. It reminded me of the fact that, this was probably 5, 6, 7, some odd years ago. We were in this house, so it was less than 7 years ago. My now once again coworker introduced me to salted caramel roll shots, and then it was pre-COVID. We had a bunch of people over for a Packer game, which was right on my birthday because the Packers play the Vikings around that time every year. She brought over a bottle of pre-made salted caramel roll shots, and we drank the whole fucking thing.
Ooh.
I did shots of that spiced Jägermeister that I randomly found, and I drank a bunch of beer. I remember she had just started taking antidepressants and then fucking yacked in our bathroom upstairs, and I remember hearing her husband being like, "You figure it out." Like, yeah. Well, Hiccup Spa is a hammered too, standing upstairs being like, "It's okay." It was a fucking all-around shit show. That was the night that I fell asleep on the couch, passed out on the couch, and woke up, and Alyssa and the dogs were gone. She was in her bedroom with the door closed, and I just had a garbage can next to me. And I think that was the night where she said, "Are you okay?" And I just went...
Oh, God, I remember that.
Yeah, because this is an audio podcast, that was me with my cheeks puffed out, not because of holding in puke. I just was apparently holding my breath and just waving my arms errantly. So there's your answer. It's fucking hilarious because, and then I didn't go to work the next day. I worked from home, and my boss was like, what's going on? And I said, I treated Sunday like a Friday. And then he laughed at me. Here we are. Yep.
Here we are.
Yep.
Proud of you.
I'm not, but thank you.
So the moral of this story is what we do in the shadows is a yay for me. What about you, Matt?
It's a yay. I completely forgot that that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, classic.
I need to find a yay sound effect because I have a sleigh now. It's Slayer, Rain of Blood.
I have one in mind. It's Gabby J from Super Punch Out. Like at the beginning, before you fight someone, there's like little animations, and it does whatever, and he just goes, "Yay!"
Done. Done and done.
Oh man, my brain's
Love
fucked
it.
up.
The last segment of our show, does it fuck? Matt, do you have any fuckable items this week?
No, I mean I had all dressed Pringles. Those are really fucking good. I can't remember if that was since we recorded last. It is okay. Pork carnitas Pringles are the new ones that I got this week. They're pretty good. They don't fuck super hard. Skinny Cow ice cream sandwiches fuck super hard for some reason. Cheesesteak Rebellion in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's a Star Wars themed cheesesteak restaurant. Cheesesteak. That place fucked pretty hard. Yeah, it wasn't like a super duper fuckable week. I've been keeping it kind of quiet because I gotta keep my liver tight for Metallica coming up in a couple weeks. Probably a lot of things that fuck because I got a bunch of free time in Minneapolis.
There you go. I only have one thing that fucks. I got them from Aldi, as per usual. There were these little gelato bites. They're like cookie dough gelato bites. There's these little cubes of sweet deliciousness that come in a bag. I could eat the whole fucking bag. It's a problem. Something that doesn't fuck, though, I showed these to you a while ago, and I just opened them because I have a chip hoarding problem. But they're pierogi flavored Hers. Does not fuck.
Oh.
They literally just taste like potato chips with very muted onion powder on top of them. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, an onion pierogi is just potato and onion, and a potato chip is just potato. So yeah, that seems like an odd choice. Had I tried the everything bagel Pringles?
I don't know.
They're not that great. They're like a weird buttery flavor. Like I get no cream cheese, I get no everything.
I get nothing.
Yeah, I get nothing. I get butter. But I sent you the thing on Instagram with those the homemade choco tacos, right?
Yes.
Like I was laying in bed last night and just thinking about how I should make these fucking things.
Yeah, that would probably be the only time I would enjoy a choco taco because like I've had them and I don't like them from the store.
What?
Yeah.
Why? What?
Because they're fucking mushy and tasteless, and I don't like
Nope.
the
Okay.
consistency.
Nope. Yeah, you don't even have to argue it. I just remember the shell being like really fucking like mushy, and you just get like chocolate. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't like. It's not even like the flavor or the consistency of the chocolate. It's just like there's something about it that I'm just like I don't vibe with it. I feel like you could make them way better.
The only reason I ate as many choco tacos as I did is because when I worked at the resort, I used to fucking take cases. And
Jesus.
I shouldn't say cases. I would take a box.
Don't try to backpedal. It was a case.
No, it wasn't. It was a box, which might be considered a case.
A small case.
Yeah, a small case, and then I would just eat them with my friends. But like, I have never once gone to a store and purchased them because nothing tastes as good as free.
You know what? That's the truest thing in the world.
I was also
Really?
fucking 21 at the time, so calm down, internet.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. Steal away. The world sucks. Steal
Oddly
your
enough, I
chocolate
think
tacos.
Alyssa can eat these Cinedust blasted taco shells, which means if I play my cards right, I can make her a choco taco and preferably bed her as a result of choco taco.
I mean, how can she deny you?
Pretty easily. She does it a lot.
I mean, but post Choco Taco though?
Post choco taco, I probably should have stopped that thought right there.
You're a smart man.
Yeah,
You're a very smart man.
I want to know your perspective of watching the fucking wheels turn and grind to a halt mid thought.
Oh, I heard them. I just heard them.
Abort!
Yeah. Smart man. You have learned well.
In my old age, I've learned to just stop talking sometimes. It's fucking wild. I wish I would have learned this skill a lot younger.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's better to let people just talk sometimes. See how it goes.
You're not wrong. I've just developed such a love of like watching someone, the shock of someone realizing what you've said.
That too.
That like, that's just kind of, yeah. And then I got older and I realized that none of this fucking matters.
That has like been my saying of the month lately.
None of this
And
matters?
yeah, I was like, nothing matters.
Yeah.
None of it's real. But also, Jackie has a really great saying that I have literally just tossed into my like vernacular.
Hi,
of just
Jackie.
hi, Jackie. Effort reflects interest. Like with certain people, like the effort you put in to like your relationships with people or, you know, whatever, it reflects the interest that they actually have with you. Because it's like, if they could, they would type deal. And like, I have just been vibing with that. So effort reflects interest, my friends. And on that note, we're going to end it here because I think it's good to end sometimes on a positive note, Monster Madness style. Next week, we're actually going to turn back the dial a little bit by a year and do a movie requested by your very own Matthew, something called Hell Baby. I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming it's some sort of satanic baby. We'll find out. Hopefully it's good. I don't actually even know if Matt's watched it.
Never seen it.
So why are we doing this?
I
What
don't
made you-
remember.
Okay. Well, we're doing that. So that's from 2013. We will be checking that out if you'd like to join us for the ride. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Booyakasha!
Twilight! Shut up, Nick. You're not Twilight. What's your problem? You are my problem. Telling the world that we are vampires.
I'm gonna tell the whole world that you're an asshole now as well.
Shut up. You shut up.
Guys,
You shut up.
you shut up.
You shut up.
Shut up. Dracula, man.
You're not Dracula.
I'm Dracula,
You don't
man.
even know who Dracula is. You idiot.
Ooh, bad vibes!
Oh, Deacon.
That wasn't fair, man.
Fucking jacket, man! I don't care about your stupid jacket.